everyone, I'm Debbie Polachek. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a stencil or a template or a guide. Notice there's a lot on the internet with done with the computer, but this is just the raw basic handwriting form. So what we're going to be making it out of is our Stampin' Up! Window sheet, and I'll also use the larger of the oval dies to help create mine too. Now this could be done in many different ways, so this is going to be a way kind of for you to set it up the way you want it. So let's get started with that. Okay. I have an envelope cut and made. If you don't know how to make an envelope, I do have some videos on how to do that, to make a video any size you want. Today I'm just doing a standard size envelope, and with my standard size envelope, I cut a piece of window sheet, which is the same size of this front of this envelope, which on this envelope is 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. I also have some of this Avery 8 1/2 by 11 removable ID labels. I don't have an Amazon link, but I can leave the details of that product and all the other products that I use today will be below. It'll be below the Stampin' Up! Products that I'm using. This is called a paper trimmer, and for me it comes in very handy for making this project. And this is that Avery paper. I'm going to cut a bunch of strips. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take these in this removable paper and arrange it on here so I will like what I see. Okay, and what I'm thinking I want is like for the name to be arched over like this, and I want to do 3 little return addresses right here. Okay, I did use the largest oval here. This is the front side of this paper, the Avery paper, the removable paper. And I took that largest oval and I moved it a 1/2 inch away from this edge here. Now you can move it also a 1/2 inch away from this edge. It's just that I didn't have a straight edge, so I didn't do that. But anyway, and just drew it from where it started going in. It starts to drop in. I'm going to go straight across because I want to make an arch. And then I'll take my ruler and continue this line across here and across this way in case I need it. I don't think I will, but I'll go ahead and continue it. Okay, so I have something that looks like that. It's not quite square though, is it? Let me square it up a little bit more. This. Okay. And a 1/2 inch letters are pretty large letters on the front of this small envelope. So that's going to be my largest letters, is a 1/2 inch. And I also want to cut some strips that are not quite 1/4 inch. See, it's just like a 1/16 away from the 1/4 inch mark here. I want to cut a few strips for that. That's going to be for the return address. And they only need to be about 1 1/2 inch long. Okay, so I'm going to cut 3 of those. 3, a little less than 1/4 inch, 1 1/2 inch along. So those are for my return addresses. Now I want to cut a piece that is a piece of scrap or something that's a 1/2 inch long. This is a scrap here. And I want it to be 1/2 inch long. And I'm going to just use this to use as a guide. I'll cut it so it's different so I don't get the sides mixed up. Okay, so this is about 1/2 inch. And I will just make sure that that is a 1/2 inch here, and that looks pretty close. I'm going to turn this around for each and put some little marks here. Go ahead and cut this arch out and this arch out. Okay, now this piece is a lot longer than it's going to need to be, so I will tell you what that final length is when we get through. We'll get this figured out on this particular card. Okay, so that's the other piece I need. Now I want to cut some pieces that are, let's say, I'm going to go right over the 1/4 inch line, just a smidgen, just about a 1/16 over the 1/4 inch line. So I've cut one that are those for the return address right 1/16 of an inch shorter than the 1/4 inch line, and this time I'm going a 1/16 of an inch longer than the 1/4 inch line. Okay, trying to make sure it's straight here and here. So that's one. I'll cut 2 of those just like that. This one's for the return address and the state. That should be enough for the zip code too. Now, if I wanted to make the zip code bigger, I could, or I can make all this bigger. But I have found through doing these that I thought the 1/2 inch was a little bit too big, but you just do it the way you think it's right. Okay. So now I'm going to use my grid paper. I'm going to put my grid paper in this corner here, right in the corner, and tape it down. And I found that I want to stay at least 1/4 of an inch away from both of these sides on the top and the bottom side for the return address. And I think it looks better if you stay at least 3/4 of an inch away on the address right here. So that would be 3/4 of an inch away. So that's the length that I would want my curved area to be, is right there. So that'd be that length. Now this one, I think I'm going to cut it off to about right here, because I want it to curve around like that. So that is off this part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that's about 1 3/4 from this edge here if you squared it up. And that is 5 1/2. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut it here. 4 1/4 inch from here to here. Okay, so this is going to be the name area. Okay. And now for the little return addresses. And this is the other. I think I'm going to go ahead and set up my return addresses. And to get this off of there, you can take a piece of Scotch tape, kind of stick it to the paper side, not the backing side, but the paper side. And it gives you something a little bit to hold on to so you can pull it off easier. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to stick this 1/4 of an inch away from the top and 1/4 of an inch away from the side. This one I'm going to give it a gap about, these little squares are 1/4 of an inch, so I'm going to go down about halfway. and put the next one. And again, lining it up with my deal, my grid lines. So since that one's halfway on the grid line, this one will be completely on the grid line again. So I have about 1/8 of an inch gap between each one of these. What's good about this paper, you can take it off and reposition it wherever you want it. Now, if you wanted to do straight ones, feel free to cut 3/8, whatever size you think that you would like these to be. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off and get this where I want it. About 3/4 of an inch away from each side here. Move this down just a bit. Okay, that's 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. Is that enough room for a stamp? Let's see where we want it. We'll go ahead and line these up and see about where we want these. Actually, I think I'm going to move it down a bit because I think I like to have a little bit more. This has got more gap here than here, I believe. Let's see how much it's got. I've got about 1.5 inches almost. Yeah, I want to move that down at least another 1/4 of an inch. Maybe even 2. I'm going to go move it down 1.25 inches down, so that would be I'm going to put it between that one and that one, so that's 3/4 here. Let's make sure that's done right. Square this up. I'm going to have mine positioned about 1 3/4 from the top. 3/4 of an inch away from this edge and 3/4 of an inch away from this edge. That's pretty close. Now, for my address bar, I think I'll put one here and one here. So I'll start writing from here to here. The only one I might need to center, make sure that my center is, I'll need to probably measure this to find out where the center mark of this area is. It's probably about right there. So I'll know where my middle letter or space needs to be. So I'm going to cut this one to about right here. I'll leave a gap there. And this one to about right here. I forgot where it's at, so I better read this one first. Okay, I know it's about 3/4 of an inch away. Straight on that line. About halfway in between. It should be about right there. I think I'm going to shorten that up just a little bit again because it's got more of a gap here, and I want that about the same amount of gap there. Okay. Now, I think that will be a good spot. Okay, now I'm going to take my paper trimmer back in. You can cut this with a straight edge if you're good at it. I'm not very good at it. I do better with my paper trimmer. And I'm going to cut all my straight lines with this paper trimmer. I can see right in the middle of that groove here, and right where I need to cut. So that's what I'll do. And this little thing right here has a little groove here and here, and you can tell when you're at the position that you need to be. I'll hold that against that side there so it doesn't move on me. Where it needs to go out this way and this way. If you want to draw extended lines here, wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm going to stop about right where I think that curve is going to stop. Okay. Now I'm going to put the next one there. Now if I need to twitch it around this way, I will. Those are cut. Go ahead and cut these. Again, getting that little line right where I need to cut. If I cut a little further than it needs to be okay. Be careful though on this end. If you cut it too far, you might have to scotch tape it back together. Okay. I'll go ahead and cut this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this as much as I can. I feel safe cutting it. So I know that this is square if I cut what I cut here. More square than I can do it with a pair of scissors or even a straight edge. I'm standing right over it, hopefully not to get too far. I am lifting up in between each one of these just a bit. Okay, so let's see how we did. Well, that's pretty good there. Looks like I missed a part there. Let's just snip these with my scissors. Part this curve. Now these you could save, you know, you want to peel them off the plastic, but in case you want to make more different types. So I'm going to try with this straight edge here. And so here we go. We're going to try to do this and make that curve as even as I can. I have to go to my finger blade because that blade is not working out real well. This might have been easiest to cut with a pair of scissors. Yes, I think it would have been. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Just measure this with a piece of ribbon, either on the bottom or the top. I'm going to square this up. Of this round line here, so I'll know how long it is, so I'll know where halfway is. Looks like halfway's right there, and if I fold this to that halfway point, that is where I need it to go to. So it looks like halfway is right there. Now I'm going to take a marker, and that's right before that, right here. That's my halfway point. I'm going to take my envelope that I made, now I'm going to start writing. Okay, I got me my fake address over here, and I'm going to go ahead and write it in with a pencil first. Okay, I'm going to write. Now you can't do your little twirlies on the bottom here like your G's going below the line. You just have to do what's on top of the line, and then when you take the stencil off, you can go below the line. Now see, I already see that I made it too big, so I'm going to have to go a little tighter. This is what's good about, I'm going to start all the way on the end here. And also, if I do need to make it, I can just move it down this way. Okay, here's my D, E, B, B, I, E, P, O, L, A. Go ahead and move it down. C, H, E, K. Now let's see, 1600 12th Street. Baytown. See, I'm going to just leave the rest of that Y off. G-O-W-N. Just put a dot for the comma. Move it over, keeping it flush with the top of this. T. I'm just going to put Texas like this. And let's say I want to go ahead and put my zip code underneath here. I can move this down one here and do the zip code down here. 7, 7, 4, 1, 9. Okay. Finish up my Y. Finish up my comma. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put my name up here too. Okay, so we know this is the middle. My name has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. Okay, so that means number 8. We'll need it, that would be the middle, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the P would be right in the middle, which is right there. Okay. P, O L A C H E K. And I'm going to go backwards with this. Give it a little space. E I B B E and D. Okay. Okay, I'm going to add some twirlies to my letters here. Make them a little extra fancy. Now if I wanted to, put some hearts or dots behind here. I think that would be nice. Something to kind of fill up your area there. Okay, now we're going to go with the return address. I mean the forwarding address. Put it back up here. Now if you wanted to, you can turn it the other way, turn it this way, and make it go this way if you wanted to. You just got to remember, put your return address on the other side. Okay, got 1600. I think I'm going to choose, you could center these if you wanted to, or you can just start from the edge. I think I will start from the edge because I want it to kind of be kind of a same area apart here, so I'll do that. So that's 1600. 12th Street. I think I'm going to go ahead and spell out street. Make it look better. And Baytown, B A Y T O W N dot. Let's go ahead and put a TX because I want to write the zip code here. 77419. Now I could have again done that again and wrote the zip code here if I wanted to, but I would rather do it that way. And now I'm going to finish up my letters here. Go ahead and finish that up and make that line curve more. Now I will take a pen and I'll go do it again. I'll go ahead and write it out. Now I can round off these bottoms of these letters if I want to, because with that straight line it kind of gives it a more of a, and I can kind of correct it if I see that I don't really like the way something is. These A and the C is pretty close together, so I'm going to move that apart a little bit. Okay. And if you want, if you feel more comfortable erasing it and doing it before you do the writing on there, that's up to you. Do a circle, maybe even a little flower. That looks very 60s. We've had a dime for every one of them flowers I used to draw when I was little. Okay, let's see. How do I want to do this? Now I think I am going to go ahead and continue to do my, what do you call that? Not cursive, but print. This area here. But I think I'm going to do this in cursive here. See, how do I do? Can't remember how I write B's. Okay, yeah. B. And if I wanted to add a little bit there, B-A-C, town, T-O-W-N, and then Texas, 77419. Now all I have to do is erase my lines with a little bit of nothing eraser. Now, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and add some more little curly cues or whatever I wanted. The only thing I could think that I could use maybe, I know one other thing I can do is thicken up to kind of give it some variation. And I do think I will right here on my name part. Is just thicken up every line. Straight line, maybe. Kind of gives it a fake calligraphy look to it. You can even make like a double line here. That's kind of a cool look. Do the same here. This one single one there. A thicker one here, and we'll put a little one of those little cross things there, and we'll thicken this up here a little bit on this side. The same here, we'll thicken this one up. There's a lot of good videos on different handwritings, calligraphy, or how you say that word, and can really, that's an art on its own. Okay. Anyway, that makes it extra special. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you go ahead and give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.